Welcome back to King's Kitchen Podcast, episode 4. I'm joined here today by my dear friend, Tiecey. How are you doing today, Tiecey?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm alive, as much as I can ask for in these troubling times. So, I heard you have a lot of stories to get into today. That's why I invited you here. Only because you have stories, not because I think you're an interesting person. I actually don't like talking to you very much. You kind of have this thing you do where, like, you talk like you think that I care you exist.
Well, I'm glad we're being honest. I can just leave, you know.
I mean, yeah, you could, but I did lock the door to the studio.
Nothing I can't kick down.
You
Navy training will give that to you.
You know what? We can test your metal against my metal door. That's up to you. You could do that. You could tell a story. I mean, at this point, the ball's in your court.
I guess I'm telling stories then, since I'm locked here against my will. Take notes, viewers. If I ever disappear, this is why.
Yeah, if they ever figure out my true identity and where I am, they'll be able to help you, I'm sure, in a jiffy.
But yeah, I guess I do have a lot of stories to tell in my 5 years in the Navy. What do you want? Lighthearted stories, dark stories?
Start from the beginning.
I have a lot. From the beginning. Okay. Well, when I first joined, which was back in, I think, 2014, I believe, or 16, somewhere around there. My first assignment was on the Abraham Lincoln. What are you writing down?
No. What?
Okay. What are you taking notes?
Yes.
May I ask why?
No.
Okay. So I was assigned to the ship, the Abraham Lincoln. It was stationed in Norfolk, Virginia. At the time, it was in the shipyard, so she wasn't really up and running, so we had to do a lot of maintenance and all of that stuff. So the days were pretty boring. There's not a lot my job can do on the land. Mm-hmm. But I'm a quartermaster. And we pretty much are human GPSs, is what they call us, because we pretty much just keep track of the ship, make sure the ship doesn't get.
Oh, you're cutting out. Sorry. Oh. Sorry. You phased out of existence there for like 20 seconds. Can you go back to the part where you said you're a walking compass?
Yeah. That's even better. But yeah, so QMs are pretty much a walking compass. We basically navigate the ship. We have our little charts, which is pretty much a map that we take points on. So you can imagine, being shoreside, there's not a lot for us to do. So for the first 2 years of my Navy career, we were stuck on a broken ship doing nothing. Well, no, I'll take that back. We cleaned up after very dirty shipyard workers. Like, they are absolutely
dirty
disgusting.
Boys.
Yeah, and girls, both. They're both disgusting.
I just call dirty people dirty boys.
The worst that I've ever picked up from a shipyard worker, we have these things called berthings where we sleep. And so that's like our personal space.
Wait, let me stop you there. Berthings? As in B-I-R-T-H-I-N-G.
No, berthing as in B-E-R-T-H-I-N-G.
I think you just spelled the same word.
No, you said B-I, right?
What did you say? You know what? Carry on.
Berthing, B-E-R-T-H-I-N-G.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So we pretty much sleep there, and we have our racks, which is like a twin-size space with a mattress on top of it, and that's where we sleep. That's where we keep our livelihood, everything. Yeah, so the shipyard workers thought it was a good idea to pee in bottles and hide them in the like the we have like I don't even know how to describe it, but there's like rails on the walls. So
Hmm.
they thought it was a good idea to just hide those in the cracks of the berthing. And the day that we had to go and clean that, we found 20 piss bottles just
Girardi.
sitting there rotten. hmm
Interesting. Very
And we
interesting.
always wondered why we always wondered why it was like pissy whenever we went in there, but we just assumed that the ship was dirty, so we never thought anything of
Yeah,
it.
you didn't think you were literally
But no,
smelling urine.
yeah, but no, it was literally urine bottles
Hmm.
just hiding in the crevices. So that was fun. But it gets better. My first deployment was actually down to South America. We went to Valparaiso, Chile, which is a very beautiful place. It's really artsy.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of look like they're stuck in the 1950s, like buildings
Ooh.
wise, architecture
Like
wise. Yeah, it's
WandaVision.
very well, I haven't seen WandaVision, but yeah, I would assume so. But it's a very, very beautiful place. I had a good time there. Taking care of drunk people,
Mm.
it's not fun,
Noble work.
especially when, yeah, I'm always the designated, I guess, driver, but not driving because we weren't allowed to drive.
Babysitter.
Um, Babysitter, yes. So that was me taking care of like grown people. And so we had this one girl, she got messed up. Like she couldn't even walk down the street
Wasted.
and we were trying to get her across the street and she was screaming at the cars and like they're screaming back at her in Spanish and she's just like shouting vulgarities at them and I'm just like they don't even understand you. Just get out of the street, please.
Oh, I thought she was talking in Espanol.
Oh, no, 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 no. They were talking to her in Spanish and giving us the finger and
Hmm.
saying, I did recognize one line, and it said that we hate you effing Americans. And I was like,
Hmm.
okay, we need to
We
go.
need to leave. Time to file out one by one.
Yes, please, let's go. So we get back to the pier, and
Love Pierre.
so we have the, so she tries to go up the ladder well and she's having a hard time and so she somehow missed it and she like tumbled back
Hmm.
and I had to catch her and guess who fell down with her? Little 5 foot girl trying to this 6 foot tall woman from falling. So
Hooey.
I felt yeah, so we tumbled down the stairs together. It was such a romantic moment, I have to say.
Touching,
If
I'm
you can
sure.
we bonded that night. But
Hmm.
anyway, so the military police ended up coming, and I had to explain to them why she was unconscious. And after that, they took her, and I went to bed with a raging headache. And I told myself I was not taking care of any more drunk people the rest of the deployment because I almost died.
Valid opinion.
So that was chill. hmm and then we went to Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. Um, that was probably my favorite place to be, just because I stuck to my promise. I was not taking care of drunk people.
Hmm.
But we went hiking and we hiked up to Christ the Redeemer, and it was a very mm, I can't find the word. It was a beautiful experience, I have to
Hmm.
say. Um, we- uh, I don't even know. I can't even describe it just because like I've never hiked before, so just going through that experience was pretty cool.
Hmm.
The mountain is very, very steep, so and I'm not in like the best of shape, despite, people thinking military people are in the best shape of their lives. They're
Superhumans.
not. We're not. I can promise you. Um, so it was a bit of it was exhausting for sure, but once we got to the top, it was cool. I have to say
Mm-hmm.
it was pretty cool. Um, and then I think the rest of that deployment, we kind of just fooled around in the ocean. We did donuts in the water. That's pretty much what we do. If we don't have a port stop, we just pretty much do donuts, see how fast we can go
Oh my gosh.
and turn the ship around and do it and try not to hit anything while you're doing it. Um, and so that was that. And then I
Mm-hmm.
was put on another ship called we call them amphibious ships, and pretty much what those are is that they're able to sail, but they are also able to like pull up to shore and stuff and kind of just sit there without running aground. So,
Mm-hmm.
and we babysit the Marines, and gosh, they are. Ah, I don't like the Marines. They're just greedy little teenagers. That's pretty much what they are, especially when they're on that type of ship
Sounds like
or
the
whatever.
Coast
They,
Guard.
hmm, Coast Guard don't like them either. They're supposed to be our brothers, but
Oh,
when
you phased
freaking
out of existence there again.
the Middle East is threatening us, I think, yeah.
Um, see, you were talking, and all of a sudden you weren't here for like a solid 10
Here.
seconds. It was right after you started commenting on the Coast Guard. Hello?
Well, I won't say anything for them because they're not important.
Fair
Yes.
enough. It's kind of interesting how you're choosing to talk through a
You.
grate even though I'm right in front of you. It's
Well,
very
I
grating.
mean, I mean, what can what do you expect?
Um, I
You
will
love
reveal something to you.
here.
I will reveal something to you. We're actually on a ship right now, believe it or not. Um, I
Oh,
just, I thought that this was going to be kind of a nice experience where I wasn't going to have to threaten you and like I was going to just reveal it partway through. Um, so I mean, you're not really in any position to leave. We're in the middle of the ocean. Um,
uh,
but we can,
well,
if you want, we can like kind of walk on deck. Like you can't go anywhere, but we can still like, you know, I'm sure you like sea salt air.
yeah. Well, I am a salty dog,
All right.
so I would love to go
Hey,
up there.
speaking of salty dogs, the first around when we first met, who, believe it or not, people, I also met this person through Kill Bill the Rapper. I had
Yeah.
retweeted a song. Well, not directly. I had retweeted a song. Well, I had posted a post, a very rather, I guess you could say, narcissistic. Not narcissistic. What's the what do you call someone who thinks that their opinion on music is the final word?
A gatekeeper.
Sure. Let's just say I posted something and I said this song is a reason that I don't find my music from the radio anymore, and it was the song "Devil Man" by Kill Bill, Rav, and Square, and Who We is that a banger? I'll probably use it as the outro of
It
this so people can
is.
hear it.
It's one of my favorite songs.
It just really slaps. And then Bill did me the courtesy of retweeting it, and then somehow the universe had TC see that, and she liked it or retweeted it. I think you retweeted it, right?
Yeah, both.
And then what I do, because at the time I was a greedy little follower hunter, is when somebody retweets something that I do or likes something that I do, I'll go and look at their profile, see if we have any overlap, if they have any posts that in any way relate to me, and I'll go and comment on it and be like, "Hey, cool, you did a thing, person," and then follow them and hope they follow me back. So I was doing that, and then I was like, I don't recognize anything here, but what am I looking? This game here looks kind of interesting. It's like
Yeah.
these beautiful visuals, and I found out it was Final Fantasy Online 14. And the reason
Yes.
that this game reminds me of Sea Dogs is because So TC introduces me to this game. You start playing, and I see a trailer where there's some dude in like a cool wizard hat, and like he's got a staff. And I'm like, man, I want to be a guy with a staff that zaps people and bonks people. And she's like, ooh, it sounds like you want to be was it a black mage? Is that what you said?
Arcanist.
Arcanist. So
Yeah.
so arcanists they use books to cast spells. I'm like, okay, already not one thing that I was hoping I could be. And then in this game, your class determines what map you start in because there's like three different main worlds. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I ended up in Pirate Town. And if you know anything about me from last episode, I like the forest. I'm not particularly fond of beaches or pirates. So it was an experience to be sure. And as soon as I go out into what's supposedly the open world, oh finally some green, it's just a giant plain. And plains are probably my second least favorite biome to be in. So I enjoyed the game at its core. You know, the base of it. It was fun to play with Tiecey, who I just met. There was an instance where we were in said field, and there are these things called raids, where a random mob will be an enemy, and the guards of that area will come and fight them. For some reason, a lost sheep was the subject of one of these raids, and I saw a spectacle to behold with the yellow jacket clad guards of said pirate town running into a field with with something on their mind, like we need to do something, and then just
Murder.
slaughtering sheep. And I'll specify for you. There are wild sheep and there are lost sheep, which come from a farm up the hill that someone owns. They were slaughtering someone's runaway sheep. I don't know how long I laughed, but I was crying. Tears. And they weren't stopping. After the raid was long done, I was probably still rolling on the ground. So that's all I
Well,
have to say.
adventurers have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Everything's
Um.
everything's not all peaches and roses. Sometimes you gotta slaughter some lost sheep to
Right.
teach a farmer a lesson.
So that the guards will pay me
No,
money for helping them do that.
exactly.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny. The best part about the game is that they didn't even try to pretend like it wasn't little things you don't want to do. They said, and one guy said to me, "Well, you see, laddie, sometimes when you're starting out, it's gonna be a lot of running here and running there, and giving people things." And
Hmm.
boy, was he telling the truth. And when I was killing something, it didn't feel too good because sometimes there was lost sheep or a giant docile rock creature that wanted to be left alone.
Fun.
So, you know, I might come back someday, come back to Pirate Town, which I just, every day I was just like, just you wait, I'm gonna go big and leave this town. Everyone was like, haha, sure, laddie. Sure you are. You're a
Once you
wizard,
start in
Harry.
Limsa, you never leave. You're a wizard,
You're a wizard, Harry. And I like it. But anyway, let's get out of Pirate Town quickly while we can. I mean, we're still on a ship, so I guess we haven't gone
Well,
too
we're on a
far.
yeah, yeah. There's no escaping it.
It's
I
no
told you.
escaping. Yeah, fair enough. I will say
Hmm.
that while I am not in the Navy, I have gone hiking. Um, that's all I was gonna say. Just kidding. So I didn't get to go too much into it last time with Lauren. Actually, I told the one story of the miscellaneous, possibly kangaroo-esque creature that ran out to my tent in the middle of the night. But
Yeah, scared you half to death.
yeah, I was. That was an experience. But I didn't explain too much about
Yeah.
what I was doing there. I just kind of said I was in the middle of the woods. Could have been doing
Right.
anything. Could have been any year
Any
before.
year. Mm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but it was actually what we were doing was so it was the Student Conservation. I said that last time. Said again. Student Conservation Association, called the SCA, and we were working on placing stepping stones on part of the Appalachian Trail. Because what happens is when you're using a trail, well, rather when a lot of people are using a trail a lot, the part you walk on gets lower than the ground around it, and that's where the
Right.
water settles when it rains. And in clay soil, the
Mm-hmm.
water either sits on top or it creates a lot of mud, neither of which are places people want to walk. So naturally, they
Right.
walk around them. So since they're doing that, it basically makes the trail bigger, destroying more habitat. So the idea was we'd be placing stepping stones along the trail, but these weren't like you go to Home Depot and buy some stepping stones. Oh no. We were digging for large flat rocks in the ground, and not quite flat, like just flat enough that you could walk on
Mm-hmm.
one end of it, one side of it, and digging the hole, putting the rock in after placing small rocks and mineral soil, which we also dug out of the ground to make sure they stay in place. I will say, finding an uprooted tree and mining mineral soil out from underneath it with a pickmatic, which is basically a pickaxe for digging. It's a little bit wider. Felt pretty cool. It felt like I was mining for gold or coal or something
Yeah.
like the dwarves with the Snow White person. Have you ever heard the original of that?
Of Snow White.
Yeah, the original written version of that.
I mean, I know most Disney stories have a dark background, but I don't think I went very much in detail with Snow White.
Yeah, it was it's pretty interesting. The queen
Mm-hmm.
actually tried to kill her like 3 times. And the third time, it wasn't that the apple put her to sleep. It was that it like got stuck in her throat and was poisonous, which made her not wake up, which
Oh
is
my gosh.
weird. And it wasn't because the
Yeah.
guy kissed her, it's because it like jostled the poisoned apple out of her throat. And then rather
Adam's
than
apple?
no, the piece of an apple. Wait a second. Who
Yeah.
are you?
I make jokes sometimes. They may not be funny, but I try.
um
And continue.
So I'm gonna cut that out. The the oh right, yeah. So in the movie, they just kind of chase her, the dwarves. I assume with intent to kill, and they chase her, and then she ends up on the side of a cliff, and then lightning strikes, and she falls, and karma gives her what she deserves. Well, in the book, the prince who has met her before, I believe, brings her back, and she tells everyone what the queen did, and then the queen is forced to stand in metal boots with embers and dance until she dies. So they liked serving
Okay.
justice the old-fashioned way in the old texts.
Guess so.
Moving on. I just love spending time in the woods, and that whole experience was like my favorite thing that I've like ever done. Just being out there in the woods every single day, except we went back to town like one day in the middle to get more. Well, we had gone back to our trucks to get supplies, but then we went into town just because we already had to hike back to our trucks and did our laundry for the literal one time that we would ever do it the whole time we were there for a month. I guess I'm kind of blowing that up a bit. But
Right.
yeah, I just loved it. We had our food stored in bear bags, which were tied up into the trees. They called bear bags because they keep them away from bears. And I actually learned a lot of knots that summer that I cannot remember a single one of now, which makes me feel a little little small because I don't know how to tie a lot of knots. And I just, whenever I see someone else tie a lot of knots, I'm like, oh boy, could have been me.
Well,
Could have been me.
we-
And it's also funny because another way I might have learned how to tie knots and remembered it was Boy Scouts. But my experience with Boy Scouts was the guy told me he was going to get me my badge for doing the first stuff, like the Cub badge or something, literally the first one you can get. And
Mhm.
every, what was it, bi-week that he forgot, uh, I go and ask him. He's, oh, I forgot to do it again, and that happened month after month. And then I guess I was just building up a bit of negative energy towards
Yeah.
Mr. Scout himself. But
Mm.
by the time that me and Dad couldn't make it to one meeting, I just stopped going altogether. I had
No.
a work, I guess it was supposed to be like a wooden toolbox I was working on that I never finished, that I kept for years and just stored things in, even though it was very small. And
Hmm.
I could have learned how to tie knots there too, but Mr. Scout failed me.
Well, I mean, you can join the Navy. The Navy can teach you how to tie knots. We do that all the time.
Do tell.
Okay, so well, it's not part of my job, but we work closely with them, and it's the boatswain mates, BMs, and they can tie like a really, really good knot. And they actually used to embroid the stairwells with this French knot.
Mm.
Yeah, and it would lead up to the CO's cabin, so it was real fancy looking, and they would paint it whenever we needed them to tie down. So we have like a flag hoist that we would fly whenever we're out to sea, fly different signal flags and stuff like that. So we would call on them to come up and tie the knots because you don't want your lines
Tie the knot.
flying around. Oh, that's actually funny because we have a very close relationship with BMs. Uh, so we would get them to come up there, tie the knot, because of course, when you're going 60 knots an hour, you don't want the lines flopping around. And yeah, so you can
50 knots
imagine
an hour.
Mhm, that's pretty fast. That's
Yeah, it's a
probably
lot of knots.
equivalent. Well, knots are I guess that's equivalent to miles per hour. Um,
I
yeah, so
cannot.
I cannot both ways. But yeah, and knots, they're great.
Yeah, tying them, I've heard it, I've highly recommended.
You don't want
Um,
your shoelaces to come untied,
no, I'm glad
tie a good
SpongeBob
knot.
taught me how to do that.
How did the song go?
It was, oh gosh. You're loop de loop and pull, and your shoes are looking good. We're gonna get
There you
copyright
go.
strikes for that one.
Oh, mm.
We'll find out. But another person who taught me about knots was what was it? Captain Knuckles from Flapjack.
Captain
When he
Knuckles.
went to the knot festival without Flapjack, and then he came back in a drunken stupor, assumedly from syrup, and then he was like, "Are you taking me to the knot festival?" And then he was like, "Oh, later." And then I think Bubby probably threatened his life or something, so we took him there. And then some guy was like, "Hey, Slipknot, slip it in a slide in." And he's just like, "Oh yeah, I wasn't just here earlier." Yeah, that was a love the puns. Flapjack was just a gem of a show.
It was, I agree.
How can
And
these hands assist you?
he was probably my favorite
When I
character.
get
He
the
was
syrup in me,
ridiculous.
I get a little handsy.
Fancy.
Yeah, then also the cat, like, it just looked normal, and then it like did a zoom up, and it's just like, and it has like teeth, like razor sharp, coming from all angles of its mouth, unnaturally. That
Yeah.
came out of like a nightmare.
I
Nightmare,
mean,
nightmare,
the whole
nightmare.
show kind of, the art style is a bit of a nightmare in itself, so it's kind of fair.
Yeah. Man, there were some things to behold in that show.
Yeah, for sure. For
Um,
sure.
Speaking of port, I think we're coming into land right now. I want to brace
Okay.
yourself for landing. Get a little bit of a
Brace for landing?
turbulence.
This is not a plane. We're
I
just
don't
gonna
see you
be
captaining the
behind
ship,
her.
Missy.
Well, okay, well, let me get behind the wheel
Oh,
so we can
oh,
land
Fred, no,
properly.
no! Why would you throw him in the water like that?
I guess someone was impatient. Mm, I guess that's our cue to get off.
Yeah, Fred had a family.
Mm,
You just pushed him right into the rudders.
I think Fred will be
You
okay.
see, you see that bloody patch of water back there?
No,
That's
that's
Fred.
just
No, no, no,
no,
that's Fred.
no. I think we hit a dolphin.
I
Yeah.
see his hat floating on top of it.
No, no.
Well, I guess
Where's
you
the
are
plane?
the deck master.
I haven't. I take no responsibility. No, thank
I
you.
was just trusting your expertise that that's not his hat sitting over a pool of blood.
It's not his hat. You're just seeing things. It's the salt water. It's
It's just
getting
saw.
to
Yeah. Ah, I should have known. I drank like 2 cups of that.
you. Yeah, see, you're not supposed to drink it. So yeah,
Oh, okay. I just thought
no,
I heard salt's good for you, so I just
no.
figured. Oh, okay. But yeah, but here we are. Might as well get off the boat now. I mean, like it's useless now. We hit a rock. There's a hole in the shell. The hull, I think it's
Oh,
called.
yeah.
Okay, fair enough. And I mean, we were coming here anyway. We just don't have a way back now. Um, so I
We'll
guess we
get the
might as well just
DMs
start
to fix
walking.
it. They can fix it. Well, we trust them.
Um,
Oh, but
these woods that kind of remind me of this game that we play.
oh,
Yeah. A game that you kind of introduced me to, kind of, sort of, even though we
yeah.
started
It's
at the same time.
Sky.
Yeah, Sky, Children of
Yes.
the Light, highly recommended. Um, I will put hashtag spoilers in front of
Oh,
it because according to their community, even talking about where a location is located is a capital letters hashtag spoiler hashtag timeline spoiler warning redacted information. If you go into the Discord, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
fair
But
warning. Don't go
go
into
on,
the disc.
introduce the listeners to Sky.
But yeah, Sky is so it's very similar to the other game I was telling you about,
Journey.
Journey. Yeah. So it's literally the same thing. Like the
Mm.
only difference is that you make friends in Sky and you can actively stay with your friends versus in Journey you can meet someone and you can travel with them but you can't actually befriend them. They choose whether or not to go on the journey with you.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's not like going up to someone and harassing them about, hey, light me up. I'm a shadow. I have this candle for you.
Yo, light me up.
Light me up, bro. Let's go. But no, it's not like that. But the whole concept of like the flying, the some of the enemies are also in Journey. Um, yeah, just the whole concept. No context, no text. It's all visual emotions.
Mm.
What you take out of it. And but Journey, I also highly recommend because it is a very very beautiful game. It takes you on a journey.
It's a
That
journey.
is, yeah. And I will say when I first played it, I played it for 2 hours straight. I didn't
Hmm.
stop. I literally played the entire game through in 2 hours.
Sounds healthy.
Uh, yeah, probably. But when you're a sailor, you get used to not sleeping and staying up at odd hours of the night, so it's whatever.
And
Uh,
committing treason against your captain.
yeah, sometimes, especially if we don't like him, sometimes we plan when we're gonna throw him overboard, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Isn't there a
But
word for
that's
that?
that's
Is it just
man.
insurrection?
I don't know. I don't know. To be honest, but
I
yeah,
feel like I've
journey.
heard a pirate say, "Well, it's blank then," and I'm not talking about treason, Palpatine. But go on.
But yeah, so I played it 2 hours straight, and it um I don't know, it's just really profound. Like you're going through it and you kind of feel like you're going through your life, like all the
Hmm.
emotional ups and downs and just pushing through like the very ending of the game. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's very heartbreaking in a way, but it's also encouraging
Thanks for spoilers.
because, huh?
Nothing.
Well, make sure you have that one guy with his flag with the whole spoiler, spoiler, watch
Mm-hmm.
out.
Oh, that was more than one person. That was
um,
everyone in the Discord.
everyone. It was like
Every
20 messages
person.
coming at every second. I was like, please relax.
And that one person I tried to get help from, that was
You know what
being
that
very weird.
you know what that reminds me of? That meme where what's one opinion that will put you in this situation and it's like the cat with a bunch of knives pointed at him.
Oh my
That
gosh.
was yeah, that's
Yeah,
literally
so where's the secret office space? Hashtag spoiler warning! Just like just get the disinfectant! Like they're just like running around freaking out, trying to like cover up any mention of the word. I've never
oh
felt
god.
so like, and it wasn't even like it was angry. I just never felt so looked at in my entire life. Like everyone in the stops what they're doing, just staring at me, just like, did he just say the forbidden words?
Yeah,
Voldemort.
they literally dogpiled you. That's kind of a sad sight to see.
Yeah, I mean, I've just learned to break the game myself to find my answers now. But you were finishing up with Journey and talking about the
Oh,
emotional ending.
yeah, so without going into much detail about it, the ending is very empowering. I would say, I will just say I definitely recommend if you have 2 hours or less or more, if you want to explore more, I would definitely download it and try it out. That game company, they are a small company, but they have beautiful ideas and they execute it very, very well. So I would highly recommend playing both Sky and Journey and any of the other games that they come out with. Support them.
Yeah. Well, since you had some insight on Journey, I'll give a little of my a beginner's guide to Sky. And by beginner's guide, I mean a beginner's opinion. I don't know why I said that because I'm weird, but basically, it's like I imagine the graphics are similar based on what TC said, but in this
Very.
game, you're a bunch of spirit children, and I guess I didn't pay much attention to the main story. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I think the goal there is that you're being sent there to kind of revive all of the spirits that came down to this land that's like forgotten, and you're bringing them all back to life. And
Hmm.
you can interact with them, and like I'm not gonna talk much about the main plot line, so I don't have to put a spoiler warning because I don't feel like it. But there isn't much story. The whole idea is you collect candles, which are kind of like a currency, and you can unlock cosmetics, like items, spells, and emotes. And the real focus of the game is interacting with people.
Yes.
And gosh, it's just so. It's like the closest thing to hanging out with someone. Like Minecraft gets it pretty good, like kind of being there with someone. But Sky, like you can't hug somebody in Minecraft. You can't like give them a high five. You can't do like a little secret hand. I mean, it's not secret handshakes that I know of. but you don't know that. You can like you can hold someone's hand and guide them places. You can give someone a piggyback ride and guide them places. Like it's just very good with interacting, and
Yeah.
the longer you play the game, the more cosmetics you have, the more you can combine them to make different things. Like me, I rock the Plague Doctor look because I've got a nice wide brimmed
Yeah.
hat and a like a beak mask kind of deal going on. And
Yeah.
this new season
Looking
just gave
good.
me all the stuff I needed to complete that look, and I'm just rocking it right now.
Mhm. And not only that, like back to what you said, like with the interactions, you actually feel like you're there.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like even though there's a distance between you and that other friend, a hug can actually feel like an actual hug. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like they do really good within capturing
Hmm.
the emotion with it. So that's why I can't stop playing. I'll just get on, just go do a couple candle runs, and you can just really get lost in the beauty of the game.
Yeah, it like doesn't matter how many times you go through it, the area is still just as beautiful.
Yes.
Because it kind of I feel like with other games where the focus is not on the landscape, even if the landscape looks pretty, it kind of loses its nuance because it's not the focus. It's just like, oh, I'm going from point A to point B. This is in between. This game, you're supposed to focus on the environment because there's wide, unavoidable camera pans when you go into a lot of areas that force you to look at it. Sometimes it's very annoying. Like this one particular
Daylight
area.
Prairie, we're looking at you.
Oh, yeah, please, developers, if you're listening to this, and I know you are, because I'm very important and popular, please get rid of the mandatory cutscenes in the prairie. If not prairie,
It is
is it?
for Daylight.
If I've already gone through the prairie, I should not have to look at that animation ever again. Because somebody else will light something, and it gives me like a 45-second cutscene of slowly panning towards a
Yes,
thing, and all these weird creatures fly out, and it's just like, creatures of light, and I'm like, leave us, creatures of light,
leave me
and I just
be.
want to be left alone.
Right. And not to mention the manta ray that just comes and kidnaps
Ugh.
you every freaking
It
time.
actually hasn't gotten me a lot, but it's happened to me at least 4 times since the first time. I'm like, boy, you just like appeared out of the ground, swept me off my feet against my will, didn't even take me to dinner, and just like tried to
Right.
sweep me up to the top of this mountain. Like, I
Can
didn't
you
ask for
can
that.
you woo me first? Can you like take me out? Can you
Wait
ask
five
me how my
seconds.
day was? You just want to jump right into it. Like I'm not ready. Chill out.
Exactly. I don't want it. I don't know who you are. You've been following me for about 30 minutes now. I just need you to leave me alone. You're a wizard, Billy. That's the energy I'm getting from that. But yeah, Sky, it's great. Highly recommend it. And it's funny is that when I first started playing it, when I saw the wings, like, cause the wings look, it's weird. The wings kind of look like a cape, and they basically are capes. As you go along, it's like, cause items you get are capes that replace the wings,
Yeah.
and that like immediately reminded me of One Shot, which I didn't talk about much in the last one, because I didn't want to spoil it. Hopefully, if you heed my opinion at all and you went and played it, then this won't be a spoiler. But I'll still put a spoiler warning. If just play it and it won't be an issue. Just do what you have to do. Like, you're just a bad person if you don't. It's just a joke. Disclaimer. Disclaimer. Warning. Warning. Hashtag redacted. That's a joke. So I highly recommend you play One Shot. And the characters that it reminds me of are these two bird characters in it. They're brothers and sisters, and they like have hands and legs, bird legs, mind you, but like their wings are like a cape that goes over their shoulders, like a shawl.
Yeah.
And it's the same exact. It's almost the same exact thing. From if you took one of those characters and put them in Sky, they would look like they belong there. Which is
Yeah.
why, Sky, I'm looking at you again. You need to collab with One Shot. You're both fairly small gaming companies. It would give you both some attention, right? I mean, I don't know. I just want you to do it, so I'm giving you any reason I need to give you. But it would
Give
be
us
really
Nico's
cool.
hat. That would be perfect.
We need cat
Please.
representation.
really.
Meow.
We only have one cat representation, and that's not enough. And
Which
how
one are you
do they
talking
think
about?
Anubis?
Anubis is a cat?
I think
Wait,
so.
hold on. I feel like I feel like you're right. No,
I
I think
mean,
it's a
the
dog.
mask is a cat,
I'm pretty sure it's a dog. Yeah,
a,
Anubis is a dog.
a dog.
Depicted as a protector of graves as early as the first dynasty, Anubis is also an embalmer associated with brother blah blah blah. What guy face dude. Yeah, they're dogs.
Oh, well, that completely destroys my idea of your Anubis being Beerus.
Well,
But
he still looks like him because of the ears.
yeah, yeah. I just
Um,
never.
Dang, I'm
Well,
sorry to burst your little bubble there.
it's okay. I've been wrong about a lot of stuff. I'm used to
I thought you were gonna say I've been wronged before.
it.
I was like, wait, I'm sorry. But yeah, Sky. No, sorry, Sky. You know what? You're cool and all, but like, I'm not talking about you anymore. I'm talking about One Shot. So this game, my favorite RPG ever. Good luck, world, in replacing that. You try to knock it off its pedestal because it's a cute game. Like that's not a good way to describe it. It's a nice little world that they build with like three major sections that have different color schemes, and it all has this kind of like it's almost kind of cavey energy to it. Like it always feels like there's something dark overhead. I'll give the basic plot. That's not too much of a spoiler. You find out in the beginning of the game. Basically, basically, you it seems are playing as a little cat guy. I'm sorry, genderless cat that I will stop forcing my opinions about on other people. But for the purposes of this, because you're intended to choose for yourself, I am going to speak as though it is me playing. And
Hmm.
I think Nico's this little cat boy. He just has that energy about him. He just
Hmm.
seems like he's got that little
Agreed.
tinge of masculism to him, in my opinion. And um, he he's like you wake up in this room and like you have to find out how to get out of it, and you find this like light bulb and you use it to get out. And then you find this robot, which is called Prophet Bot, which teaches you about what's supposed to be going on in the world. And the basic premise is Nico is the Messiah. We find out his name is Nico, and he's like the Messiah to save this world that they're in. And you find out that you're not just playing the game. It breaks the fourth wall immediately and establishes
Majorly.
you majorly and establishes you as the god of that world. And also doxes you. So I was playing it with TC here recently, and it just legitimately said the full name on her computer out loud, and her response was pretty entertaining, especially since I had forgotten that it did that. I
I
think that
was speechless. I couldn't even say anything else.
I think that was the most unfiltered reaction I've ever heard from you. Yeah. Uh, but yeah, it says your name off your computer. It just breaks the fourth wall left and right out of the bat, and establishes you as like a deity, a god that he talks to, and he can talk with you. Like he'll stop and just talk to you sometimes, and you find out that light bulb you found is the sun that's meant to save that world. And you're supposed to get it to the tower, put it at the top, and it's supposed to restore the light and bring you know, give them a chance again. But as you go along, you're given little hints that there's some kind of corruption going on. It's like affecting the world. You can kind of think
Yeah,
of like from Metroid 3 corruption. And some people are saying that sun's not going to change anything. Like this corruption is going to kill us anyway. And you're just making your journey there. You're growing closer and closer with Nico and meeting people that's adding depth to this world.
hmm,
And then, I'm just going to say it. This is where the spoiler warning is going to come in. So you get to the end, and you are then told by the entity, which is this being that's kind of seems more like you than the character in a game. It's like kind of outside of the game, but in it and controlling it, where it
Yeah.
knows what's going on and talks directly to you about Nico. And he reveals to you at the end that you have to choose to either save Nico or save the world. If you put the sun in, Nico will be stuck there. If you smash the sun, the world will die and Nico can go home. So it's an emotional journey, like up until that point, and you have no reason to be too worried about stuff. Ooh, puzzle here, puzzle there, and then stuff gets real fast. I
Dark.
just said real fast.
Mhm.
So it's crazy, and I
Yeah.
knew just from like conversations we had about games and things that we like and the music we enjoy. I was like, I knew TC would like this to the point where I didn't tell her anything about the game until she played it. Not a word,
Yeah, and
almost.
and I went into it completely blind, and I have to say, it's playing that last playthrough where
Ooh,
things got real.
let's not say too much about that one.
Yeah, I won't say too much, but I will say it definitely will tug at the heartstrings.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
my gosh. And the first time I played it, I misinterpreted what was going on. And we did it again, I was like, oh, oh, even darker. Great, gotcha. I'm glad that I know that now. We. But I'll just say, if you are gonna play it yourself, a little word of advice: if someone's been telling you to check the files in your computer for answers to puzzles the whole game, and you get an ending you don't like, take a look and see if you can find the save data.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yep.
So, there's a lot to explore. I'll just say, for a game called One Shot, it sure is replayable, wouldn't you say, TC?
Yes, and I would also say that in order to get like the real ending of it, you would definitely have to play through it more than one.
Mm-hmm. To get any kind of somewhat satisfactory closure to
Yeah.
poor little Nico and the world that he grew to love. I think that's the true like beauty of it, is that the intention of the world is to make you fall in love with it and to make you fall in love with Nico, just to be forced to choose between the two of them. I
And I have to say, whenever I first played through it, it was a tough decision to make because they didn't make it like this desolate, emotionless world. Like they actually added depth to the characters. Like they all had their little quirks and stuff.
even the
Like the sweet
robots were
little,
funny.
yeah, hello person.
Hello, human. Yeah, hello, person.
Oh my goodness. And the conversations between some of the characters are just absolutely, it's pure comedy. I enjoyed it a lot.
Oh my gosh, the one where the person had like a TV for a head, and he and he was the person's talking about robots, and he's like, "Aren't you a robot?" He's like, "No."
No.
Why? He's like a question
Why
mark, and
would you assume that?
he's like, "I have a TV for a head," and he's like, "What does that have to do with anything?" And it's just awkward silence, and he just like several panels back and forth of nothing. And he says, "Never mind," and walks away.
It just walks away.
I love the way.
Confused cat noises.
What does that have to do with anything?
And
And I think you voiced it too, which made it so much funnier. Because in the first playthrough, I was voicing Nico as Bane because I'm a horrible person.
oh my god.
Oh,
But it was
TC,
amazing.
TC, TC, I have to go pee pee.
Well,
Please,
take care of
TC.
yourself, Nico. You're a kid. You're 9 years old. You can do it. I believe in you.
TC, what is that man? Who is that magical man talking over the phone? It's just me. Oh, hello, magical man. I told you, it's just really hard for me to talk to you. I've been in a situation with someone real similar to you, and I just can't do this again. It's okay, magical man. I love you. That's great, Nico. That's great. That's what he said too.
Oh, All right, come on, Nico. Let's leave him be. Let's continue on.
He was
He's gonna be
just a
okay. He's gonna be
boy.
okay. Are you all composed? You're good.
Yeah, I just can't look at him. Not again.
I understand. I understand. He's gonna be okay. I promise.
Okay. Okay.
All
Okay. Okay. I have to be strong in his memory.
right.
I have to do it.
That's what he would want.
That's what he would want.
Yes.
He said he wouldn't forget me. I can't. I have to be strong for him.
Yes.
And for Silver, best
Oh
girl.
gosh. See, yes. Oh my goodness. You know, the last run, the
Mm-hmm.
entire time, that it's funny to me because the whole time we knew her name because obviously, you have to play through once to get through it. But the second
Yeah.
time, we went the whole thing without asking her name.
Not
You
once.
just called her, you just called the pink-haired lady.
Oh no
That's
no! We
it.
called her Robot Lady.
Robot lady, yeah.
And then at the very end, she's like, "It's Silver."
He just had this reason. He didn't even say anything. He's just like, oh,
I
okay.
think he just had that neutral cat face with nothing attached to it. Me.
Yeah, but I
God.
have to say, it's probably bias, but my favorite character, and I hate that I can't remember his name, but the elevator guy.
Oh, I don't think he has one. I
No,
think he just. I don't think he does. I think his name's like Elevate or something. Well, I can find
elevator.
out. I have my
Yeah.
the GPS smartphone or something here that we're out in the sticks. We're pretty deep in, but oh, I'm sorry. No, we're in a
National
cave now.
internet.
My bad. That's my mistakes. I'm a little delirious. The seawater is still I guess it's still affecting me.
It's okay. It happens to the salt puppies. It's all good.
Salt puppies. I just ate hush puppies today. Are they like kind of like hush puppies? Salt puppies?
Sure, if you want to think of it that way.
Okay.
But yeah, elevator guy, I would have to say he's my favorite just for the one wholesome moment where he literally waited for Nico to finish his sleep. And he
Mm-hmm.
waited by the elevator and held the door for him. And he was just like, and Nico goes, were you waiting there the whole time? And he's just like, yeah.
Didn't want to be rude.
But it's such a wholesome moment because he was like, well, you're the Messiah. I can't just abandon you, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't. I think that did happen. I think I told you to do that on purpose. Cause then did I remember? I forget if I remembered or not.
I think you did.
Oh yeah, I said go and sleep first. Right.
You set me up.
But the thing is, you didn't have a choice. You would have had to have done it earlier. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
that's true. Yeah. But still, definitely recommend playing One Shot. It was an experience for sure.
Oh,
And if you're not like me, that takes, hours to figure out one puzzle, you might get through it rather quickly.
right. Let's just say she had the luxury of having someone who's played it before. Making some pointers when it got to the point of, oh my gosh, please let it end the misery. But so is this canon? Okay, so he's known as Mr. Lamplighter, Maintenance Guy, and Plight. Where
Like,
where did it ever say his name is Plight?
mm,
Plight
I
almost
feel
swore
like I've seen Maintenance Guy. I feel like they've
because
referred to
Nico
him
called him
as that.
that.
Oh, okay.
He called them both of those things.
But Plight? That's a new one.
Oh, apparently he was the designated comic relief character. I think he was just called. I think it looks like the developers just referred to him as that. I think that's how they found out his name. Oh wait, okay. So Plight's real name is Sebastian. So how did we get the name Plight in the first place?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I also love how one of the trivia is Flight almost swore right in front of Nico. Did you hear? And he said fudge instead. I forgot about that.
Oh goodness.
I also will say, as a retail worker, I can relate to the part where he says, "Wait, but if I die, I can't go to work."
Me trying to convince death to let me stay on Earth. If I die, I can't go to work.
Yeah, it reminded me of that when it said Plight never finished high school. It's like, yeah, that sounds like a lot like Burger. Was it Burger? What was his name from Undertale? You know who I'm talking about? The cat dude.
Oh,
I think his name was something Burger.
don't give me the lion. I have
Burger
no idea.
Pants. Burger Pants.
Oh,
There he
there
is.
you go.
Oh my gosh. When I was oh. Well, the story involves I won't go into detail. It involves somebody I don't talk to anymore. Use your imagination. Viewer listeners, you won't connect the dots, but I have mentioned them before. But I was talking to them about how when you look at some things it says about Burger Pants, it's literally me because he was 19, um, retail worker, wanted to die, and suffered from extreme anxiety to the point where he was just unraveled,
Yeah.
much like myself.
Well, it's no wonder Undertale was probably that popular outside of other reasons.
Yeah, I think there was a quote he had made where so if you know anything about the genocide route of Undertale, I won't go into yeah, no, I won't go into any detail. I'm just gonna say in the genocide route of Undertale, there's a point where you threaten him, and he says something along the lines of, um, "I can't go to hell. I have work," or like "I have no soul," or something like that. I already sold my soul to, or I have work on Monday. I think is what he says, something like that. Hold on, let me just find it. I have my GPS smartphone here. You know, just keep navigating through this cave for me while I do that. I don't want to like trip and fall.
Well, I'm a navigator of the sea, not of caves.
Well, you have navigator in your name, which is more than me. So we're just gonna have to trust your expertise on this one.
All right, I guess. It's not like I have any landmarks to go off of other than pure darkness.
Oh no! Oh no, we're falling! Oh no, the rocks! Oh no! Oh no! See you next time on King's Kitchen Podcast.
A bit dramatic, are we? It's just a pothole.
Um. Oh, so you're right. I fell about a foot. I closed my eyes, so I didn't This is embarrassing.
And it's okay.
Uh,
It's okay. Let's just keep
I
going.
do see a light at the end of this tunnel. I think.
Well, that's good because I'm getting about sick of this tunnel, to be honest.
I'm getting a bit that sick of you.
It,
Oh, I found a worm. Kind of
oh,
gross
well,
looking.
yeah,
Kind of like you.
yeah. Kind of no. Good one there.
Anyway, let's get out of this. Oh, oh, there it is. Oh, daylight. Hooray! Look, civilization and the
Oh,
McDonald's.
I guess we gotta go back.
Ah,
It's so much better in nature, to be honest.
you
But I
know
guess the
what?
city's cool.
Yeah, let's go back, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Back
Well,
of the water?
um, we do have to find it first, so we can either go around the cave, under the cave, through the cave. We'll leave that to well, you guys leave in the comments which one you think we should do, and we'll let you know next time how that went. Next time,
Yeah.
if you have our whenever we find our way back, um, we'll let you know how it went. All right. So
Well, if we don't come back, that means we got lost. And remember what I said at the beginning of the our little conversation here. He kidnapped me.
Hmm.
I was brought here against my will. Remember that.
Hmm.
Mm. Yeah, see, look at that. Look, he's writing. Do not forget me. Remember what I said.
Good night.
Help me, please.
See you guys next time on King's Kitchen.
All right.
Bye bye.
Bye, guys.
Hold up, my life is growed up, it's getting so dumb. Showed up, I never knowed up. Go to so many shows, I'm getting confused by who you've been introducing me to. If winning is what you up to, I got some losing for you. I choose the music I choose, I'm down to do what I do. I'm never dancing for no one, I got some plans on the move. Never abandon the groove, I band it together through panic. Can't panic, can't understand it through scope. I take the damage and grow, I make demands and I roll. I hate to answer the phone, so please don't call me, be calming. My reach alarming when I see the whole thing that I couldn't get past. Slow my head round, you can hear the next snap. I begun to wear down, fear the spirit won't last. Need to summon my powers, need to feel the whole back, yeah, yeah.
Caught up in your motives, motherfuckers looking kinda bogus. Yeah, need a reason to steep in your moment till it flees like a leaf from the lotus. Yeah. Want me eat from the belly of the beast carcass. Enemies wanna try me with the shits. Got a squad full of gods who on top of your block XO till they finally get a ditch. Motherfuckers want it. End up straight up in the kaiju stomach from the bayou summit. You bummy, let me buy you something big buddy.